Well, I think the first one is our understanding of economics, not just how policymakers or politicians understand economics, but also how our communities, ordinary citizens view what the economy is. As this discussion in the workshop has pointed out, there is a concern that an overly monetized view of the economy that doesn't take into account the social economy, the volunteer work that goes on in society, none of this counts in terms of the almost totemic status of GDP, gross domestic product growth in the economy. This is at best a partial and at worst an ecologically damaging view of the economy, because absent from that understanding of the economy is also nature and the natural systems upon which the human economy is utterly dependent. You look at any basic economics textbook, for example, and you find a view of the economy of consumers and producers. No mention of energy. Issues of pollution don't come into it. Issues of the natural world don't appear. So we've created what I would say is an economic imaginary, which is extremely new. In my own research, this is actually a view of the economy that goes back to the post-war period in Europe. Prior to this, there wasn't the same obsession and concern with endless economic growth. That needs to be challenged. What we replace that with, of course, as you've witnessed in the discussions, is it degrowth, is it well-being, is it quality of life? My own option is issues around reframing economic growth as economic security, creating a positive vision of a sustainable economy in which good lives do not have to cost the earth. Part of the issue with this orthodox view of the economy and economics is the way that economic growth removes from the agenda issues of redistribution. The analogy that's often used is of a growing cake. Who cares what the size of your slice you have is, as long as it's bigger next year than it is this year? Whereas the ecological view is that there are limits to growth, whether it's climate change, whether it's resource extraction, whether it's natural ecosystem services to which the economy can grow. The accepting limits to growth does not have to be a negative issue, that actually we can have an economy of abundance, maybe not of the extent of material prosperity that we've been used to, but that's a very new phenomenon. There is no natural way in which we can say that a growing economy is the only healthy economy that we can envisage. We can talk about a post-growth economy that is full of human flourishing, but only if we start to question the idea of endless, infinite economic growth. Oh, absolutely. I think a clash of ideas is the best way of coming up with solutions. And certainly this workshop has shown that even within those of us who are critical, like me, of growth and of the orthodox economic model, there are differences which we need to share openly. But also then, particularly with the views of the colleagues here from the European Commission, the OECD, coming from a more state or international institutional level, if you like, they're part of the problem for me. The institutions they work for are promoting this dominant view of economic growth, and therefore it's useful for those of us on the outside to see what are the room for manoeuvre of those folk within those institutions promoting in what I would view is a false view of economic growth, and is there opportunities for common ground to be found between those of us on the outside of these institutions who are very critical and perhaps those who are creative and brave enough within these institutions to actually change? Or is it that we come to a point, and we haven't, I don't think, yet in this conference, that actually the system isn't broken, it was made that way, that we have to actually move beyond these institutions that have been promoting this false, ecologically irrational view of economic endless growth?